Suliranin. Nitong nakarang 1.5 taon, marami ang nangyari. Ito ang panahon ng pagbabago at pagunlad. Maraming experiences na nagturo sa akin not only to be a better student, but also be a better person in general. About March of last year, I was fortunate enough to go on a cruise and take a break from my research. So I visited Belize, Cozumel, which is in Mexico, as well as another island which I'm not remembering on top of my head right now. Pero this was 1 week of relaxation, walang ginawa, but to read a book, took in some of the sun, tapos just enjoying the vastness of the ocean. When I went on this cruise. Around the end of March, I celebrated my birthday. Nothing too big dahil yung sasakyan ko actually, there was a hit and run at the parking lot. So I had to resolve that day. Tumatawag ng insurance and all of the other jazz that's involved in accidents like that. But around April or May, I think that's when things were really starting to tank on my end. I think my productivity slowed down. Tapos, my mental well-being has been really challenged. It was a time of just really trying to stay afloat, I would say. Again, I'm not gonna go into yung mga details about this time, but parang it was a feeling of drowning, like nasa ilalim ako ng tubig. But during that time, it was also a time of changes. At that point, I think around May, I was living alone. I was actually getting ready for a conference that I was gonna go to in Austin, which is about 3.5 hours away from Dallas. Itong conference na to ay specific towards kidney cancer, so yung mga treatments that are available for them. I also did not present at this conference dahil yung research namin at the time, we were worried na may isang other lab that might take our science and actually publish it. Since our science have not been published yet, we ended up pulling our abstract away and just went there just to listen to talks and network. What was fun about being in Austin is dahil that was my first conference dito sa grad school, and they fully covered everything, from the flights. I actually took a flight even though it's only 3.5 hours away. Nag-flight pa rin ako kasi magastos sa gas yung sasakyan ko, and then of course the driving part back and forth, nakakapagod. So I ended up just flying, which my department covered for. Tapos yung hotel is also covered by the department, and then yung conference fees, which was also covered by the department. What was exciting is yung daily namin, it's just me actually, tapos yung professor ko. Your daily meals are actually per diem, so may amount ka per meal that you can spend, and you get reimbursed for it later. So bibigyan ka na lang check when you get back, when you have your receipts. So I think it was like $13 for breakfast, $15 for lunch, and then parang like $27 for dinner. And I was just buying food left and right dahil I was like, sayang naman kung hindi ko magastos yung pera na allocated for these meals. So I ended up just spending it, and I was eating so much, and it was fun dahil in the morning I had a flow of waking up early, mag-workout ako. Actually, I was working for an hour and a half. Tapos I would get ready, put on my suit, pupunta ako ng conference, listen to talks, network. Tapos around lunchtime, may 2 oras na break, and what I did is basically I got out of my suit, put on yung jogging clothes ko, and nag-jogging ako into the city of Austin, and that was really fun. Even it was in the middle of the beginning of summer here in Texas. Sobrang init. I think it was pushing maybe 35 degrees Celsius. So Austin at the time, it was really hot last year. Overall, it was a good experience to be really at the cusp of where the science in clinic lies, at the innovation of medicine. It's a wonderful thing na maging part ng development and research to put new drugs into the clinic to treat a certain disease. But overall, the experience was amazing, and it was very exciting because nung I think few weeks bago ako pumunta sa conference around May, even though I was going through all of this negative things, there was at least a kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. I may have mentioned this last kong vlog, but apply kami sa isang Department of Defense na grant that would give us maybe about $600,000 in research funding over 3 years. Finally got the results back, and we actually scored at one of the top percentiles, and we were able to secure that funding. So at that point, we were confident na yung science namin has a direction. People believe in it. It was a confidence booster in the sense na it validated me in the science that I want to do. A month later, after going to Austin, umuwi ako actually sa Pilipinas. And that kahit 2 weeks lang ako doon, I mean, it was such a surreal experience. We celebrated my uncle's 50th birthday. I think that trip nakatulong sa aking mental health. It was such an amazing experience to be surrounded by family. We explored mainly Sorsogon, Legazpi. These places are hidden gems, I think, sa Pilipinas. I think common touristy areas are yung Boracay, now Siargao. But I cannot describe it enough how amazing that experience was, even though I was only there for 2 weeks. Tapos, I explored BGC with my cousins. Nag-inuman na naman kami doon. Got back feeling very refreshed from that 2-week trip. In the US, again, it was a matter of just getting back into the zone and focusing on my mental health. And this time I wanted to put an emphasis on my physical health as well. The fall of 2023, parang from August all the way to I would say November, it was such a blur. Ended up hanging out with more friends, developing a lot of my friendships that I was kind of lukewarm with. Parang like friends ko na I knew they were friends. We were friends, but hindi kami close. During that time, I got really close to them. My Filipino friends here, Jared, Dominique, Nikki, Courtney. And during that time, we celebrated a lot of things, and just being around such amazing people also helped. And again, these are the things that it's the people and the human connection that really got me through such dark times in my 3rd, 4th year of graduate school. Towards the end ng 2023, I was in a place na parang nakakahinga na naman ako, and I was starting to become happy again. I think sa lab, most of the struggles that I was facing at the end of the year was mainly the science. Sometimes science do fail. Actually, most of the time, science fail, and it's a matter of accepting and knowing when to give up sometimes. Maraming experiments actually. Money, time na nagastos namin. Sometimes you just gotta take that loss and move on. Ginagawa ko tong video to not only as an update about my life dito sa PhD, also kind of as a practice, as an exercise. Dahil yung mga career na gusto kong gawin after my graduation, which is I plan to graduate next year around May, so 2025, involves science communication. I wanted to communicate my science not only in a different language but also to a wider audience outside of my typical circles dito sa US or dito sa grad school. Really want to improve my communication skills by making these videos. Not only are they fun to make, dahil for me it's one of my favorite hobbies to do content creation like this, especially photography, and I love making these videos, and I wanted to incorporate my hobbies as well as my current career goals into one. You also notice probably na walang proper organization or direction itong video to, and truly I just wanted to update what I've been up to, nangyari sa akin, and I really want to continue making these videos dahil I think not only will it help me become a better communicator for the career that I want, but also share my experience. As I've said in the first video, I want people to see and maybe even learn from mga experience na dinaanan ko, gaya ng mga obstacles that I went through that at some point talagang mahirap i-overcome, and there were days where parang gusto ko na talagang mag-quit. And to end the video, I want to leave you with one advice. Mas kilala mo ang sarili mo. Take some time. Isipin mo kung ano talagang kailangan mo and kung anong gusto mo. And pagkilala sa mga ito will serve as the foundation for the other parts of your life. This is James, your Pinoy PhD, signing out.